Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to read some posts from Reddit that I found really interesting that relate to spiritual growth and all the different things that we talk about here on this channel. So let's begin. Missing soul family. Many times as I've been researching spirituality stuff, there's always talk of your soul family. This group of people who you travel with into different incarnations of life, your souls resonate with each other, with one another, and you have this innate familiarity. You just connect. I've never felt this with anyone. I haven't felt it with family or anyone outside of my family. I grew up isolated and still at 25 years old never had true friends. I've had severe social anxiety that kept me away from people. I grew up in a very narcissistic family where everyone cared about themselves the most. There was no emotional bonding. There was no comfort in these people. So in a way, it does feel like such a mismatch of souls. I guess I just wonder, why am I so alone? Why have I lacked connection all my life? I guess these are big questions. I don't really expect a clear answer. Just any insight would help. So let's look at some of the comments. People here on earth aren't very spiritual, so it's hard to connect with them. I find it hard to find people like me in this world. My family isn't here, I'm alone. I haven't met anyone I connect with either, at least not in this lifetime. I think that's the story of so many of us. We, as spiritual seekers, many a times we are born into families that are supposed to be difficult, and that is because we are supposed to learn all these lessons. In my opinion, it doesn't mean that they're not a part of your soul family. In fact, this is what the soul family is here for. They are here to help us learn those lessons that we are supposed to learn, that we have decided to learn. And as soul families, backstage we are all friends, we love each other unconditionally and all that stuff. But when it comes to the stage, the actual acting part, that is this life that we are living, we are supposed to live out certain parts and behave in certain ways in order to carry out those karmic planning that we have done before we are born. This doesn't excuse any harm that we do to each other. We are still responsible for it, but that's how it comes into play. So strangely enough, I don't think another person has to be as spiritual as me in order for me to connect with them. It helps, but I think that's not what makes or breaks it. I think you have to learn to look past those kinds of definitions. You can see something in someone that they don't see, haven't discovered yet themselves. It takes times and it's hard, and I think it takes knowing someone very well. This is a very wise answer. Imagine the person you'd like to befriend. Make a list of their characteristics. How would they behave? Where would they hang out? How would they be? Now become that person first so you can attract people alike. This is very good advice, and in my experience I have seen that, and I have done that myself, that if you want to attract love, or if you want to attract a conscious relationship, a conscious person to spend time with, a conscious friendship or a conscious group of friends or something like that, then you have to become the person that you want. And that is a very you can say fast forward way to attract. And there are a lot of other things that are also required, but let's just say that that point is one major point, that you have to become that person who you want in your life. But it can be very difficult for some people, because having self-love and self-respect and all of those things, it can be a very long journey and a difficult one for many people out there. And it's not always as simple as just become the person you want. So we like this advice, it's really good, but also sometimes it's not as simple. So there are people who come to you rather than you going to them. Your presence is what brings people close. I will note that the further you go on this journey of life, the more you will come to realize that this idea of a soul family is nothing more than reflections of yourself. I know for myself, I've seen that I meet people and they come and they go, I do my service and then I go back to myself. More times often than not, being alone is invaluable instead of being around a soul family. I also think that this is also very good advice, because in the end, no matter what soul family you're talking about, no matter what love or friendship you have in your life, in the end everybody is on their own, and we came on our own and we go on our own. Even if you are a twin, you still, as an individual, you are alone in whatever you experience in this life, and that does not have to be a bad thing. I think one of the biggest superpower anyone can develop is being fulfilled by themselves. Even when you're alone, you're being entertained by yourself. You are fulfilled in yourself. You really like your own company. And that's how I have been forever. Even as a child, I used to be very happy being alone and spending time all alone, doing things that I love. So this is a really good advice, that you can treat those people as just people who come to your life, and you do a certain service to them and they do a certain service to you, and then you part ways perhaps and go on your own ways, right? So another comment here, I completely understand you, OP. I never really knew that a soul family existed or that the soul existed. I had a feeling that something was missing in my friendships and I could never pinpoint what that was. However, I met a particular person that made me question everything about myself. This person and my father's sudden death catapulted me into a spiritual journey. I didn't understand the feelings I was feeling and why I was feeling them so intensely. Why was I so calmly drawn to this person? Why did I feel like I knew them? It was such an indescribable, intense feeling. I had no idea what it was. Turns out it was my soul recognizing them. Now, this is a very deep spiritual understanding this person has, and I have had this experience in my life as well, where certain people that come into life and certain things that happen in your life suddenly, like a bereavement or a loss of career or loss of something big like a house or something like that happens in your life, and then it changes you forever. It sparks a certain spiritual question in your mind, and then it helps you embark on this whole spiritual journey where you unfold who you really are, and you come to know that you are this soul and you have a purpose, and that everybody else is also a soul, and then you begin connecting with other people on that soul level instead of just the surface level of, this person is just judgmental, this person is bad, this person is triggering, this person is annoying. So that is very surface level of knowing someone. But when you know that everybody is a soul with a certain mission, certain karmic baggage, etc., etc., you see them in a different light. And the second thing this person is talking about is the soul recognition. That has happened with me almost every single time I have met my best friends or even my husband. I have had soul recognitions with so many people, including some of my teachers, and it has been so great to have them in my life, and there was never any doubt about them in my life. Like, as soon as I met them, I just knew that I know this person from before. This is not the first time we are meeting. And that soul recognition has been mutual in many cases, and I still have all those people in my life because the feeling of being with them is indescribable. Just being in their presence is uplifting, and it feels like home. That is an indication that you know that person from before, and you have probably already healed your relationship with that person over time, and now you're just here to help each other, and support each other in this current life journey. Moving on, so from what I have read on this topic, your soul family may or may not have incarnated with you this time, depending on the lessons you decided to learn in this incarnation. That is spot on. Also, your soul family frequently comes into your life at pivotal moments for short periods. They are not necessarily going to be by your side all, some, or any of the time. You and your soul family decided every role they would play in your earthly life. It's all agreed into your soul contract. So you may need to look at your life from the definition of a soul family and see if you can find them. That's how I found a few of them. So this is a great answer. This is exactly what I said earlier, that yes, they are here to play a certain role in your earthly life. Another answer here, personally, I do not believe in reincarnation. That's really hot take around here, I'm aware. Well, it's okay to not believe in something, but I myself always believe in things after I experience them in some way or the other, or I have a second-hand experience from someone I know who cannot lie or stuff like that. And I have experienced the reincarnation, and I am a past life regression therapist. So yes, reincarnation is very real for me. I do feel lucky enough that my actual family does feel like my soul family. Yes, if your actual family does feel like your soul family, consider yourself very lucky, because you don't have that foundational lessons laid out that are extremely difficult to go through, because they are related to the very foundation of your whole life, as the people who you knew and who you loved and trusted as a child, when they betray you, then the trauma that you receive is just another level. Moving on, and I do think that how and when people feel this way, from my own observations and experience talking to people about it, really is dependent on simplest of things, and that's their childhood. That's great, great insight here. Everybody is behaving as the things that they learned in their own childhood. Like almost everything in life, if you felt loved and nurtured and connected to your family and in childhood, those souls are always the ones you come back to and feel are home to you. This is great, because those people who were actually loved and wanted and nurtured during their childhood, most probably they will end up growing as adults who love, nurture other people just as they were during their childhood, and then they end up feeling like home to other people. If you didn't have a great childhood, you seek that home feeling throughout your life. That is very true for me, and I'm sure it's true for so many people out there. If you did not have a great childhood, even if you were provided for with money, with food, shelter, education, everything, you can still not have a great childhood if you were emotionally neglected. And there are so many things that go into nurturing and raising a child that people don't realize. So if you had any part of your childhood missing, you seek that home feeling throughout your life, and you begin to seek that feeling in many different people, and sometimes some of those people might not turn out to be great, and you end up getting into relationships that are not very good for you. But other times you might find people who are actually like home, and you might end up in having some great relationships in your life. And you can find it, many do. I don't think that your soul family has to be made of people you totally gel with, exactly what I said, because even your enemies can be from your soul family. So this was a new way of gathering spiritual awareness, spiritual information, spiritual guidance, and also a way to extract spiritual knowledge from my mind. So let me know if you enjoyed this video in the comments. I will do more of these, and let me know if you have any suggestions about certain kind of Reddit stories that I should do. Tell me about them in the comments again, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.